Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Wolfram Language Design Review, part of our Language Completeness and Consistency series. And we have several different topics here.
Are you in the prototype build?
Nope, because I just asked whether I needed to be, and nobody thought that I should be, but I'll open it because I can see this first item needs that.
Yes.
We finally have sub-value holding. Is that true?
In the prototype build, yep.
God, it's been a long time coming. Like 35 years.
I didn't know anything about this. Does that mean there's potentially infrastructure for doing other things with subvalues,
Specifically what?
specifically dynamic dependencies?
Um, I do not know the answer to that question.
But it's a good question. And we should figure it out.
I mean, if the answer is no, I'm no worse off than I was before. But if there's some infrastructure that's useful, I'd definitely like to know about it.
I mean, this seems super useful what we have here, because this has been a holdup for all kinds of design issues for a really long time.
Yep.
I think the name is okay, isn't it? I mean, there's a subvalues function that extracts subvalues that have been assigned, right?
Right. I mean, do you want to look at the draft ref page?
Yeah.
Hasn't been.
Do I need to reload for that?
I last changed it Monday night, so probably not.
This is great. Wish we'd had this before. We could
Okay.
have made some better designs. What was the thing that caused us to do this right now? There was a particular design bump that we ran into.
It was, well, I mean, this was already in the works, but the reason the I think you're thinking of the exception
Oh, yeah, right.
object.
Yes. Okay, well, we got something good here.
Okay.
So sorry, is there an interaction between the hold all of the first bracket and the second bracket? Like something evaluates in the first bracket and then it destroys something in the second bracket or something?
I'm not sure I understand.
Jose is asking, if you evaluate the ordinary arguments,
Yep.
it leaves the subvalues completely unaffected, which is what we're seeing here.
Correct. Now, if you right now you could make something both hold all and subvalues hold all, and then everything would be held.
Right.
And
Now, okay,
Is
question.
subvalues hold all a hold or a hold complete?
it's a hold.
Okay.
So there's some different issues about kind of up values. If you have an up value inside the subvalue, then it will still be seen.
Correct.
Which is fine. This is great.
Yep.
Okay, no more to say about it. All right. Union versus delete duplicates versus tally.
Right. So,
Why do I think this is a can of worms? Okay, go ahead.
Right.
Because there's a dozen notes right there.
Right. So Union I think has always had the same test option. It was never particularly documented, and it's pretty strict in its equality testing. It uses 0 bits of tolerance for inexact numbers. Um, we never documented what same test goes to automatic does. Um, and that's what it was. Then delete duplicates came along, and it behaved the same as union, only it was documented to be using same queue by default. And so users complained about that, and so we fixed it. But then,
What did we fix it to?
well, we made it match the documentation. So delete duplicates of one argument, as you can see from the second, or yes,
Yeah.
the second input there. Um, it defaults to same queue, but then we still needed a way to have the old behavior because some people needed that. So you can do there's an undocumented second value for the second argument automatic, which it means behave like union. And then tally, I
Sorry,
think.
I'm sorry. If you say same test for delete duplicates, same test to automatic, then it behaves like union. You said, and it behaves
Correct.
like okay.
Yep. That's the next to last input in that section of examples shows you that behavior.
Okay. Yep, I see it. Well, wait a minute. The second argument, why isn't it the same test here?
Because delete duplicates has a same test second argument. That was just the design. It's not an option. It's an argument.
Arguably, it should be one of these things which, as a courtesy, also supports the option. But I don't. I mean, that's kind of a wimp out design.
Right. And right. And so, tally takes, I mean, basically the reason
What
that
does
was
counts do? Does counts do whatever tally does, or does counts do yet something different? And
well,
gather by and group by and all those kinds of things. What are they using as their same test?
counts is different because counts is doing pattern matching. So it's not doing.
I should know the answer to this after all
Or
these
no,
years.
or no, counts
What
is
does
the
pattern matching do with reals?
or sorry, no, I was confusing count and counts. So yes, counts is the thing that
I
takes an
use it all the time.
association, and it doesn't have, and counts doesn't even have a same test argument. So I'm guessing it's using same queue, but I don't know that for a fact. If you
It should be using hash same queue.
What?
If you
Which is essentially the same thing as same queue.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just do the experiment of uncounts, but I'm gonna guess, yeah, it's probably using same queue or hash same queue.
What is hash same queue?
It allows you to. It's the same as same queue.
It's
I mean, hash same queue
internal.
being the word hash spelled out, right?
Yes, and it's in
Yeah,
the internal constant.
It's
Context.
hashing with some amount of slop for last bits.
How does
Well,
so
it's
it's
doing-
canonicalizing the last bits out before the hash?
Well, what it does is it does equivalence classes.
Yes,
I see.
which makes it kind of imperfect, but what are you gonna do?
Well, and what happens? Associativity and all these kinds of things are messed up.
You don't have it with approximate numbers anyway.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So the basic point is we got a whole bunch of functions. Like counts doesn't have any same test option.
Right, it has this weird second element things of like the ordering.
Okay, but why not give it a same test option?
It could.
I mean, it seems to me that we should sort of uniformly have a same test option for all of these functions.
Um, I disagree. Right. The reason Union needed to have an option is because it's var args, right?
Mhm.
Whereas delete duplicates and friends are fixed. Uh,
I know, but counts isn't, and I just think that the uniformity of design of just saying everything has the same test.
Um, I suppose we could, but it would be, I mean, it would be kind of stupid, right? You'd be adding characters for no reason in most of these functions.
Well, a lot of these functions also like counts has a counts by, which is, ostensibly more useful than the same test.
Well, it's a little different. Yeah. I mean, I use counts by all the time.
I mean, but even with the by, don't you still potentially, you need to know what the
Yes, that's correct. After you
Yeah.
bide it, what's the sameness?
yeah.
Hmm.
Right. I mean, I was thinking like, even like match queue or something, or cases potentially.
Well, what happens with pattern matching?
Well,
It'll use hashing to resolve things.
So this is going to match.
should.
I have to say, I think having the same queue all over the place would be nice. A same test all over the place would be nice.
Okay. Right. I mean, it would need to. Uh, okay. So if we did that, then I mean, it would need to default to same queue rather than automatic for all these new functions, for all these non-union functions. Um,
So what is automatic doing, Itai? Is it just removing any tolerance at all?
Basically, I mean,
Okay.
I mean, it's basically what what I put there in the with explicit test function, right? It's basically doing order, and if order can't tell the difference,
Yeah. Okay. So it's order then. That's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
I mean, I think this isn't our most critical issue, but I think
No.
that the nice way to handle this is to have a same test for everything.
Okay.
And I think having a setting for same test that isn't automatic, but that is more obviously just do all the bits. I mean, I would have expected a value like full or something to mean just compare it totally literally.
I added some code that might be useful to look at the possibilities.
Identical queue.
I mean, maybe we should have that in addition to same queue. Very bizarrely, we could have a same test and same queue.
Yeah. No.
I'm
We have
looking
a
at the
same test
possible.
that takes a function that takes a same test argument that, or
No, we can't because same queue is var args. So
Okay, never mind. It was a stupid idea anyway.
that's
So right now, same test takes automatic, same queue, or inherit. I added some code in the chat.
Oh,
Inherited.
what does inherited do?
Not come across. Oh, that's undoubtedly right. This is probably it's saying, from the runner or, right. There's right. All three of these that take inherited, um, uh, are in, from the testing world. So probably it's, there's some way to set a global default, and this is saying, use the global default.
I didn't know that find transit repeat has the same test. That's good.
Right.
Well-
And obviously automatic will mean different things in different functions here. Like normal matrix Q, the matrix functions are not using all bits because those are,
Okay, but we need a setting for same test that means use all the bits. What should that setting be? Maybe all, same test all, might make more sense.
right. I suggested the strict, the
As a string?
strings, yeah, the string strict.
Kind of slightly prefer all.
Yeah, or right, or order. Yeah, I suggested strict or ordered, right? Because it's basically saying things are the same if order gives 0 for them.
Yeah, but that's not
Sure.
ordered queue, which would be confusing.
Right. So,
All right, what I suggest is we try to add same test uniformly to all functions. We have the notion of same test to all, which is compare the bits. Now, it's a bit unfortunate that we don't have then a function that does that. How would you do that if you wanted to do that just for two expressions? Are they have the same bits?
it's the same test I explicitly wrote. You test if order gives 0 for them,
It's a
and
bit of a hack. I mean,
I'm not saying it isn't. I'm saying, but that is what is currently possible from top level.
I mean,
Well, you can set internal $same queue tolerance equal to 0.
Okay.
is it worth having a strict same queue? I mean, we have the same issue with unsame queue. Is it obvious? Does it have the property? Does the same test have the property that if it is, of a law of excluded middle, that the not same queue is the same as same queue?
No.
It's not totally
Yeah.
obvious to me that would be true.
No, I mean certainly not in the var args form, right? And maybe.
No, but I mean with these things. These are those two things. If I say unsame queue,
I presume.
It'll be true. Yeah. And those are always going to work because we use the equivalence classes for numbers like that. So they're only
But these are both same queue and unsame queue. Or
I did. Sorry, I messed this up.
yeah, yeah, no, yeah, Scott,
I'm like,
that would be very
okay, good.
disturbing. Right.
Okay, fine. So the law of excluded middle does hold. Not.
Yes. Good.
You're sure that in all cases it does?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that that's the case because it's it's equivalence class members, so that they're if it's a set member, if they're in the same set, then they'll be
Right.
same queue, and if they're not, they won't be. So it works that way.
Okay, and it's a closed interval effectively. So the set, there's no boundary.
Yes, for example, if you added, so this your 0.74999 is basically 0.75 times 1 minus machine epsilon over 2 or something like. But if you did 0.075 times 1 plus $machine epsilon, that would not be in the same equivalence class, even though they're equally close together.
Okay. Do we need a strict same queue?
I'm not sure. I mean,
Yeah,
people haven't asked for it.
I mean, I think the main argument I see for it is that reading, that table there, it's a more clear description of what's going on than automatic. I mean, especially, like, okay, coming back to Itai's point, I don't know to what extent there is, what the correct non-automatic right-hand side for normal matrix Q would be, or if it's a complicated thing or something.
It's complicated. It depends on the norm of the matrix and
Right.
all sorts of things.
But this same queue here, why is symmetric difference same queue, but all these others are, like entropy is this stricter version? Seems
probably.
wrong.
Well, I mean, the question is that entropy the stricter version, or is it some
fact,
complicated
it's
thing
same
that's
queue.
specific to entropy?
Or is it in fact same queue under the hood?
Right.
Because I think we may have called it automatic when we meant same queue.
Right.
I
So
think there's an argument of having, strict same queue or something like this.
As a possible variant, we do have same as, which is our operator version of same queue. And because it's not var args, you could ostensibly have the same test
I think it's obscure.
live there. Yeah.
That's way
It's
too
a half
obscure.
measure, but
I think strips. I mean, exact same queue would not be good. Strict same queue would be okay.
okay.
So so why not promote the internal function so that we have a strict same queue that says the bits are the same, including numbers, etc. Does that make sense to people? And then we try and arrange these options to set them to either same queue or strict same queue if the option can be described in that way, or automatic if it cannot.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Operator form of GatherBy.
Right. So these don't currently have operator forms because when they were introduced in V7 before the operator world
Movement, before the operator
yes,
movement, yes.
into, they had a documented one argument form, which was basically just use identity or, be the same as the non-by function.
Which is completely pointless.
Yes. So, in 14.1, we added an obsolescence message to the one argument form.
But we dedocumented it when?
I believe in 14.1 when we added the obsolescence message. I mean, I didn't go back and double check the documentation. I can do that super quickly. Split by, and yes, I excised that in 14.1 when we added the obsolescence message.
How long ago was 14.1? It's like a year and a half.
It's about 2 years now. I believe it's December of 2023, actually.
Okay. What do people think? Now or in 15.1 or when?
Well, I mean, I think now the main question is how much work Danny thinks this would be, and does he have other critical 15 things he needs to finish?
I do not have other critical things, and I believe that there's already a pull request that's been active or sitting rather for about 3 years, so probably no work.
Okay, well then we can try to do this for 15 if you
Fine.
just ping me in the
Fine thing to
relevant
do.
PR. I mean, right, by the time we actually released 15, it'll have been more than 2 years, so.
Fine. Fine. I think it's fine. I mean, I can't see why anybody would have used the GatherBy form with one argument, given that it was exactly equivalent to gather.
Yeah. My guess is that my guess as to what the thinking was and what it may have been used for is that, somebody was internally passing, somebody had a function where a user could specify a by function and that was being passed. And if the user didn't specify anything, it just defaulted to the one argument form.
It's a weak
But,
situation.
I've not seen any right? This obsolescence message has not generated any internal or external complaints. So
Fine. I think it was a silly, yeah, okay. Let's just do it for 15.0.
okay.
Okay.
Right. So you suggested a third argument to COMAP in GatherBy, which I think is not quite right.
It's not
But
quite right, but let me show you the use case.
right.
Okay. Let me think.
You're right. Well, you cited the example of first length as I put there, and I'm going to construct that example for you in very short order. So gather by is just values of group by, and group by actually has a third argument which is called the reducer function. And so if you use the operator form of COMAP in gather by, then you achieve exactly what you wanted with this thing. So I think it should just be a reducer function, just like we have it in gather by, and then we should also add it to split by. If you know,
Yeah,
assuming this is
hold on.
okay.
I'm just thinking. Let me just understand.
Okay.
So the need for a COMAP there is because you're being fed a single value. Yes, that's right. That's right.
Right. You're being fed the list generated by, right, each individual list in the result is being fed to the third argument.
Yep.
And so we're using the operator form of COMAP to apply multiple functions to that one list.
Yeah.
And which in this case gives us a representative sample and the count.
Yeah, which is exactly what I want.
Right. Now, the other thing I point out here is that we don't have a tally by, but if we had a tally by, this would be exactly what you wanted, right? You could achieve what you wanted using tally and applying a same test, a same test function that compared to first arguments.
I hate that. I mean, I don't
Right,
like
right.
doing a same test.
Sure. I'm just saying that maybe what we need, either in addition to or instead of this added third argument, is a tally by function.
What would happen if we could elide the COMAP in the third argument? Because a list is not going to be something you can apply. See what I'm saying? I think we have other functions that would do things like that.
I really hate that because also what if it's
and COMAP can be more than the list. Could have done COMAP with first arrow length, and you'd get a bunch of rules.
I mean, the other thing I'll point out is that, in this use case, it's kind of important that you have the first there. Because because otherwise you don't have any handle on what a representative of the class is. Because GatherBy just does the gathering. It doesn't tell you what it is.
No, I understand.
Right.
I understand. Let me just understand the tally by thing. So I have stopped using tally. I mean, I use counts all the time, but I do not use tally. But I'm even muddy on what tally does. Tally, just amusingly enough, was introduced by tally.
No, I believe counts was introduced by tally.
Yeah.
Tally didn't like tally.
Oh, right.
Yeah, no, the only reason we have tally is because it was pre-association, so we didn't have to wait the nicely.
But also if you have a packed array, tally doesn't unpack. It creates a new packed array, at least if it's a packed array of integers. And counts will always unpack.
Well, I mean, that's an implementation detail of association.
No, it's not an implementation detail. You can't have a packed association.
Right, unless, right, yeah, the only way it could avoid unpacking is if it returned, instead of an association, a rule of packed array to packed array or something crazy like that. Yeah, so for large data sets of integers, Tally is certainly more space efficient.
I didn't know that actually. Oh, I see. This is just giving me the counts. It's giving me the last element and the count. But what would tally by do? Same thing, but just with lists?
It would give you it would give you the list of, well, I guess no, I think it would give you all the lists, at least that this would be what I think it should do. It should give you the list of, unique elements, or does it include duplicates? I forget. Sorry. Tally is giving you the counts. I'm sorry. I'm momentarily confused.
Yeah, but my point is that in this case, it's slicing off the by part. It's not showing me the other part of the thing. It's only showing me the, it counts by, and I'm not quite sure why this isn't equivalent to just applying last and then doing counts. It is, isn't it?
It is. In that sense, counts by is kind of silly, and I think it's also different from most other functions where, like group by gives you the
whole goods, the whole payload is there.
And so
I don't think we should compound the weirdness of counts by adding a tally by.
Okay. Well, right. I mean, I guess I didn't even think of this possible confusion. I was thinking tally by would give that same in output as the tally did, right? It would give a representative element, right? It would give the first member of the equivalence class and the count.
The whole first member of the equivalence class, as opposed to what counts by does.
Correct.
Which is give the sliced piece.
Right. Yes. In a sense, I think that counts by is wrong.
But this is why group by has this arrow notation. So counts by effectively is using last arrow last.
Does it say it's doing that?
I mean, this doesn't have that freedom, but group by has that freedom of then selecting.
I mean, counts by could have freedom to select.
Right, it could. Yep.
And then, I mean,
so just so we can, I'll be on the same page. Can you copy that input right above where you are and change the counts by? No, not that one. The counts by there, and change that to group by. Okay, and then you're saying if we do that input again, but change the second argument to last goes to last, we'll get the same output as counts by?
It's preserving the 8s only, right? So it's closer to what counts by is doing.
Right.
But there's nothing we could do in the counts that would preserve all members of an equivalence class.
No, it would have to be one only.
Right, which is kind of weird.
Right, and it's giving different counts than what counts by did.
Sorry, what do you mean?
Unless I'm misunderstanding of what.
Counts by is giving the multiplicity. I mean, if I
just this is giving the element. It's not giving the.
Right.
Okay. Yes. All right. So yes, it's a list of length 1, a list of length 3. Okay. So yeah. Okay.
So I think the only question here is
right. So I guess counts by is groups by of f goes to f, comma, length. Right. If you do copy that in of 17 and add a third argument of length, then hopefully we'll get the same output as counts by. Yep.
Yes. Do we have this in properties and relations?
Absolutely. I'm sure we don't, especially since there are only two examples there. You know, these Tally era functions don't necessarily have the best ref pages, which
you should point that out to the under documentation team.
Okay.
When you're not at war with them.
Hey, I'm never at war with them. I'm just
I heard that
I just sometimes put them into, you know, the low priority queue.
I heard that Itai was the winner of some under documentation fixing.
Yes, at one point, I don't know if this is still the case, but at one point I had resolved the most under documentation bugs of anybody. So
yeah, but you've got a big hand on the scale. If you reject other people's changes and tell them to go away, of course you're going to be the winner.
Okay. Huh. Well, you know, well, Danny, you can feel special about that.
Oh, you can take all of my documentation problems from me. I cede them gladly.
All right. So the bottom line here is there something to do or not? Possibly adding the arrow notation for counts by.
We could think about adding the arrow notation for counts by.
And we also just have some under documentation issues here.
Right, and I'm guessing do we add the third argument to group by?
Group by has a third argument.
I mean, gather by.
Gather by.
Don't see why not.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay, but no tally.
And it should be the same as group by, and in particular, it shouldn't be an implicit COMAP.
I think that's correct.
Okay.
Even though we got arrow notations and things for other things which are somewhat implicit, you know.
I think it's more flexible. I think it's more flexible to be able to put the COMAP operator form or just to have your own function.
No, I understand, but if the head of the thing was list, we could add an implicit COMAP.
Possibly, unless somebody was building something up and wanted to do a through later.
Oh boy. Yeah. Okay. I mean, honestly.
Well, why don't we implement it as is, and we can always add the implicit thing later once we've had more experience with it.
Okay. Killing context to file name.
Yeah. So both John and I, as we said in the thread, have no idea what purpose this function has. So it doesn't account for different extensions. You know, it doesn't account for documented directory structures, much less undocumented directory structures.
Well, if we look at our code, do we use it or not?
I guess I didn't even bother to do a search, but because I'm so convinced it's useless, but I'll do a quick search right now. But context to file name. Okay. So it appears in, so all the hits I'm getting are
Sysmake.
What? Oh, and it's in sysmake.m. Okay. All right. So there's exactly one useful use. Yeah, right. I mean, I think, yeah, right. I'm not necessarily suggesting removing it from the system, but we
I'm seeing it in a bunch of places that are just alphabetical listings of things.
Right. Yes. I see it in a lot of QA files, so at least it's well tested. And in ref pages. This is weird. It's in matrix. It appears in matrix form, in the test file for matrix form. I don't understand why, and even in very strange. Yeah. So I have no idea what that is, but yeah.
This is context to file name in there.
Yeah. So in fact, yeah.
Are you doing a stash search?
I'm looking at the stash search, and well, okay, well, it's inside of a string, but yes, well, it's a bunch of a bunch of a bunch of uh, QA files have string context to file name, open close bracket, and then AB and ABC. I don't know, maybe this is some comment that got copied from place to place. I have no idea.
Well, and the amusing thing I have here is running a version 1, and it has a listing of functions, and it contains that function.
Yeah.
In version 1?
Or maybe it's version 2. When was it?
I was gonna say the docs say it's new in 3.
Oh, well, maybe so. Oh, maybe that retro wasn't all the way back to 1. All right. What are we going to do with this? I mean, we could basically obsolete it.
Yes. I mean, I think we do nothing with the actual function and we just obsolete the ref page.
That sounds right to me.
Yeah.
And we should check what guide pages it appears on. I mean, what seems to me will be useful is a which-like function, which in the sense of the Unix which thing that tells you, given the path, what actual instance of this will you run?
That's called find file, as demonstrated by that input there. File name, right? There's find file of semantic import, right?
I see. Okay.
Right. And as I point out with this last note, right, with the Packlet manager, there's no guarantee that the context and the file name actually match. I mean, by convention.
All right, so this context to file name function is just silly. We should just drop it.
Yep.
I was gonna say, guess which file isn't on the same guide page as context to file name?
Find file?
Find file, yep.
No, there it is. Sorry, I just wasn't looking far enough down.
Okay.
It definitely wasn't a see also on context to file name, though.
Yes.
Well,
but the page is being obsoleted, so
away, so who cares?
Exactly.
Right. Okay. I just want to. This is an issue we're not going to get into today.
Okay.
I just want to highlight some things that. Yeah, just a few things that I've been thinking about recently that I think might be worth talking about. One is message reap of an expert. Programmatically, and I know we have this for testing, programmatically give me a list of messages that were used in the evaluation of this expression.
Isn't that just $message list?
It's also evaluation data. It's one of the things in that association.
I understand, but it's something where you have to, okay, so if I say evaluation data of 1/0, okay. Just seemed like a separate function. This might be useful. Maybe not. I wonder if we refer to on the messages page, I wonder if we refer to evaluation data.
Probably, but if not, I can add it.
Yeah. So do you think this thing's pointless then? Well, why can't I do that? That would seem to be useful. That is a very anemic set of examples. Okay, there's this, or there's something like messages reap.
Yeah, I think adding a second argument makes more sense than having, one
I
function
kind of agree with you.
for every every element, right? So obviously you could do evaluation data 1/0 close bracket open bracket messages because of how associations work, right?
Yep.
So you could make that work right now, but yes,
but
adding a second argument would be a polite thing to do.
It will be polite and it might also be efficient because
I was going to ask about that, if it could be made more efficient by not collecting the other data.
I would think
only
so.
Collecting what's wanted.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
All right, so that's that one.
I for one wasn't aware of evaluation data. It's anything that It seems useful, and I'd say anything that promotes it is a good thing.
Yes. Okay. A topic we're going to be talking about soon is logging. People know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I mean, I think that's more an LCC topic. Okay. I'm sorry, an ILD topic. But we understand what we mean by that we have something where we can throw stuff into a log as we run.
Well,
Yeah. Well, the problem which is engendered probably 2 or 3 dozen solutions across our source code base alone.
Yeah, I know. So that's what we have to inventory and make a good version. The other thing is progress reporting. And I would say the thing that I'm particularly keen on there is, let's say you say compute some, I don't know, eigenvalues. And it turns out we are grinding away trying to compute symbolic eigenvalues, and it takes forever. I would like to put something up in the progress monitor that says computing symbolic eigenvalues. Use n if you want the numerical ones. See what I'm saying? So a bunch of informative progress monitoring that if we see that it's taking a long time, we tell you what it's actually doing and say, basically, you might not want to do this. Does that make sense?
I mean, the idea
It
makes
seems
sense.
like it's scattered all over the place in terms of implementation.
Yes, it will be years before we have the last one of these progress monitors that we want to put in. But the idea is to start.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm also not sure the extent to which that's, I mean, in vacuo, sure, that makes sense. But in terms of how, right, there may be 137 different exact methods or that it's using before that it attempts, right? So which one of these is slow? Who knows?
It doesn't matter.
A related issue is that when code, this would be mostly for numerics examples.
No, it will be for
if
all
you have
kinds
some,
of things.
no, yes, but in the case where you have something monstrous going on, say a singular value decomposition, you're likely to be locked in some library code, and the front end won't even be able to get information from the kernel about what it's
we'll
up to.
talk about what's happening there. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, this is an upcoming discussion. There are many, many places where this will be super useful. I mean, I love the fact that we added a default thing in parallel map to let you see how it's progressing. It's super useful to me. I'd like to see it in lots of other places as well. All right, we should wrap up here.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Carol.
Talk to you all soon.